wanted like my medicine, and then I'm like, leave me alone. Let me go through this by myself and deal with it.
When I come into the ER, I automatically have friends on. I'm just like, okay, going in here, they're gonna think I'm addicted to pain medication. How do I convince them that I'm not addicted to pain medication and I'm not just asking for it just to ask for it?
I get chronic headaches that I still get for, I think, almost a decade now that I've been having the same headache. I know the hip pains, the joint pains, and everything else, that's like a stabbing pain. I can barely move at times. I mean, I get frustrated from it. It's very frustrating because no pain medication really works for me, so the pain is there. It's not something that you can ignore, but I have to ignore it just to get the day going.
When I'm having a crisis and it's 2 a.m. in the morning, I try to have a bin of snacks like right underneath my bed, so I'll grab crackers, eat a few, try to eat them really quickly, then chase it down with some water, and then go to my drawer, which is not that far from my bed, it's like 5 feet from my bed, and then start off with something soft, which is Motrin, and see how that goes. If I'm not feeling anything within like 45 minutes, then I move on to the hard stuff, like morphine, extended release or immediate release, and go from there. Usually that does it, but
If you are sick, you deserve help. If you say you're in pain, you deserve to be believed.
when I changed hospitals and I seen a girl with sickle cell, she was like just glowing, like literally. And I was talking to one of the doctors who was like, yeah, that's also my patient. And when she came in, she was just as little as you. And like, don't worry, we're gonna get you there. It's gonna take some time, but we're gonna definitely get you there.
When we made the transition to the Cancer Institute, it was a trusted partnership. They knew that I wanted to be informed. I didn't necessarily learn anything new unless there was something new on the horizon of what she could possibly be taking medication-wise. But I would say the biggest thing was quality of life. I didn't know could exist for her or us. Such a frail little girl. And all she wanted was to be with her friends in school.
It was difficult. I know I was always lying to like the friends that I did make. It was hard to keep in touch with them too. And it's hard to articulate what you have going on to people that are your age, because you're like, you're only like 10, 9, you don't even know what's going on. And to try to explain to them what's going on, they kind of treat it like, ew, I don't want to be around that. I don't even want to know what that is. So it's kind of easier to just not talk about it to them.
Friends would come up to me like, hey, you're never really here, what's going on? And wanting to tell them the truth, but also knowing it's probably best to just push it under the rug.
I was scared of them knowing as well underneath all of that, because I just didn't want to be bombarded with questions of like, oh, what is that? What do you do? Like, why are you always sick? And I'm just like, it's fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, type of thing. Because like, there's too many questions being asked. And as a kid, like, I was aware of it, but also I couldn't answer all the questions because I wasn't fully aware at the same time. Like, I just knew I had this disease and it was doing this to me and I needed this. But like, I also didn't have all the information to explain it to like my peers at the same time.
There was a lot of bullying because, of course, my eyes were yellow. Nobody understood why, but I didn't even know why at that young either. So I would just be like, okay, that's normal. I never really looked into people's eyes and be like, okay, your eyes are different than mine.
Making friends was easy. Letting them into like my sickle cell experience wasn't easy at all. It's something I really don't like talking about. It's something I don't tell all my friends about. Most acquaintances that I have who know me don't know I have sickle cell. Only my close friends know that I have sickle cell. So it's something that I don't really like to share. But yeah, it's something that as I get older, I'm feeling more comfortable in sharing it and voicing it. But like when I was younger, it was definitely something that I'd keep to myself.
She went from barely having a life at all to having quality of life. That's what I learned. That's what we learned. That's what she learned. That life wasn't just sickle cell. She began to live. She was doing things that I didn't know that she would ever amount to. I think that's what the last place didn't focus on. Giving the patient enough quality of life. When my daughter was very young, I told her from the beginning, you're going to college, you're going to succeed, and you're not allowed to use your medical condition as an excuse for failure. It doesn't work that way. I told her as a mother, I told her as a social worker, that the rest of the world is not really going to care. Your mama cares, your teachers will eventually care, your family members undoubtedly care, but the rest of the world is not going to care. So we got to figure out how to maneuver in this life. These are the cards that we have. We got to deal them. We got to play what we've been given. You're not allowed to use this as an excuse not to push forward. There were a couple of times she's in a hospital on morphine, on a morphine drip, nonetheless, with a bolus button that she could control. And the only thing I could tell her is, once this is done, we're getting right back on that horse. Oh, okay, Mom, but right now I'm sick. I know you're sick, but not forever. This is just a day. This isn't your whole life. This is just a day. It's a bump in the road. We have bigger things to do. We have bigger fish to fry. Once this is done, back on that horse. And she's kept that. She's had a couple of minor crises, sickle cell crisis, while in college. She'd tell me about it like a day or two later. I'm like, what? What happened? How did you handle it? Mom, I just did what you told me to do. I did my deep breathing, and we started cognitive behavioral therapy so she could just start breathing through the pain. Once she figured out that didn't work, okay, we're gonna try Motrin. If that doesn't work out, we're gonna try the next thing, acetaminophen with codeine. Yes, I can actually remember that word. If that doesn't work, then you take it up to the next level, which sometimes meant morphine, extended release, or morphine immediate release. You do what you have to do for that moment. It's just a moment in time. It doesn't dictate what you do with the rest of your life. Once it's done, you get back on that horse, you get back on your school studies, you call your internship, you call your job, you let them know, I was down, I'm back. Let me know what I gotta do.
When I was picking my career choices, I wasn't thinking about my sickle cell, so I just went with probably the worst thing to do, having sickle cell. But it's one of those things where I'm really passionate about. My career goals is eventually go FBI or maybe even a police officer. But as I got older, I realized police officers, they get unlimited sick days. So it might be it might work out for me in the long run if I do eventually get there.
Maya knows that she can't just deal with this by herself. She's now beginning to be comfortable in her own skin enough to start telling people about it. Make that choice to move forward. What can I do from this perspective? Yeah, I'm in pain. Yes, I'm lonely. Yes, I'm tired. Yes, I'm frustrated. What am I doing? Ask yourself, am I making it worse by sitting here? Or am I being proactive? Am I talking to someone? Am I letting them know this is happening right now? Call me in the next 10 minutes. keeping everybody involved.